Thoughts prompted from this article in the Wall Street Journal. This reminds me of the literature that happened when African Americans started getting their rights. White, especially from the South, individuals, people, men and women, they were threatened by it. You heard like black African American people became, became governors, mayors, all sorts of power at cities. Cities actually ran better when they, African Americans, had the running it, and then the white supremacists came in, or the bigoted majority. And the same happened in Georgia with the Native Americans that did it better than. And sometimes you get a president like Andrew Jackson that'll just overturn it. We don't want to go through that again. He had his trauma based on the English killing his brother and mother. That's why the government has to be strong to rein in these individuals. And though Andrew Jackson was a war hero, he killed a young man. And so I'm sure we would have eventually beat England, but we didn't have to do it in such of a... No, I don't want to get off track here. Another video on Andrew Jackson, but getting back to the point here. People are threatened by this. It's over here is, and a lot of it isn't so noble. A lot of the churches and their foundation and the whole economy, like the Mormon, certain parts of certain religious economies are based on these roles. And if you don't follow it, like the Italians or the Catholic Knights of Columbus, there's a certain way of hierarchy that if you don't follow their rules, you're ostracized. Or like the KKK, or they keep, or the way the mortgage banks used to work to exclude zoning African Americans in certain locations. So the women follow these traditional roles based because there's more income for the husband and whatever. It's so off. It prevents women, bullet points, from becoming adults if they don't embrace their full power. Men as the protectors. You know, I was thinking of that over here. We need to raise decent citizens. I mean, if there's someone who has a masculine person, strong person who's out of control, you almost feel ashamed if you can't contain him in a violent situation. But what does that say that we have these individuals so much out of control? Or a society where no one would, assist, or you're just, that, it reduces us to like the lowest common denominator. Like I have to be strong enough to keep, I hate to say it, like an ape body against a wild animal. I have to sacrifice my nuance, the sensitivity of my eye, to keep up with the strength of my fist. I'm thinking these here, excuse me, and I'm really not refined off the top of my head here. But these issues over here are all about power and control behind. Like we're better than you, or conservative came out after the Napoleon French Revolution. But so much progress was made, we're not going to go back to kings or the whole socialists try to be for the monarchies. It goes forward. And you have to know what you're trying to conserve over here. Human values the love and decency and care for one another. And the whole generosity of accepting our uniqueness. See, I have to be all of me. All of me. I have to be most of me has to relate to most of you. Not the fake me or the fear me or... And I think a lot of individuals really have a love of Jesus, love of life, love of that. But a lot of them still fear Rome, and a lot of people, basically they're saying over here, if you cherish my beliefs, well, I'd rather challenge them to the bone, because your so-called love or your conservative isn't based on love of Jesus, it's still based on fear of a hierarchy, very brutal, sadistic, harsh. indifferent machine of Rome, fear of Rome. So I'm going to talk about the old Rome, which was good for a few elites, but for the most citizens over here, even for the elites, it was quite brutal. Fear Rome, with that inhumanity. That's why the Vikings embraced Christianity. Valhalla was brutal. They could idealize it, but the ideas of potential salvation outside of that hell. Now I know I'm going fast here. I could picture a comedian saying he's talking about Kool-Aid and he's talking about the glaciers and he's like, But that's it there. People like me that are right-brained, that have these vast of association, we're the ones that actually do the creative impulses that define the new world by exporting culture and nuance. Like Japan used to be technology, now they export culture, which is all this creative. But here, it's not the Dewey Decimal System, it's non-binary, it's outside the binary like quantum physics, 2 and 1. And that's what scares people. And that's another thing with the binary. Is it a light? Is light a particle or a beam? It's both. And people are against this. But now that China is developing quantum computers that could be particle and beam, okay, things could be two at once, but particles. Elon Musk could like his car. It's not really a car, it's really a computer. It's a battery. It was the first transgender, first trans machine device, one of them, besides the iPhone or the Android, but he rejects it in his children. Okay, this is my rant, my free association regarding this article. Tell me what you think, okay, and subscribe. Oh my God, that's the first time I said that.